Hey, welcome back to another CBB Talk with your boy Will Dickinson. We got a nice little weekend recap episode coming for you right now. And wow, we had an amazing weekend, another great weekend of college basketball. And as the new poll comes out this week, my poll updates it every day, but the week 10 poll, this is my week 10 poll, is now going to be official after we had really just one movement after yesterday, but we had a lot of movement over the weekend, some great games. And UConn remains number one, but some teams really trending in the right direction here. So let's talk about all the exciting games that happened over the weekend here. Again, I usually if there was one game that really stood out, I'm gonna talk about. I'm just gonna go in chronological order. It just makes it easier for me, so I'm not missing a game. We can start with this team that's red hot. Well, maybe the hottest team in college basketball, North Carolina Tar Heels. They won't beat Syracuse by 50 or damn near 50, 46 points at home, 67-103. It was just a dominant performance there. The whole team from Carolina played good. RJ Davis, Armando Bacot, um, oh my gosh, Harrison Ingram, Cormac Ryan. This team has been really good this year. Elliot Cadeau had a good game. They're clicking. This team is a national championship contender. I got them now ranked third in the nation. They're third in my poll, just behind UConn and Purdue. They're really hot. They're 13-3 on a nice win streak here. They're undefeated in ACC play. And Syracuse, man, I thought they're a good team. I thought they could keep this game close. Nope, it was a blowout from the start. Good win for the Tar Heels here, as they are really, really good. I think they can win a national championship. I think this team's better than the 2022 team that made the Final Four, because they have a point guard in Elliot Cadeau who could manage game, can score, but is a playmaking first. RJ Davis is taking that next step. Armando Bacot, still Armando Bacot, and then they have really good role players to fit around. Harrison Ingram's a great defender, athletic player. Cormac Ryan can shoot the ball. This team is deep. Seth Trimble off the bench, Jalen Washington off the bench. This is a very, very good Carolina team. Brings me back to those old Carolina days, which is really good to see. They're the best team in the ACC. I really think the ACC is just a two-team. It's a two-team race, and Carolina. And it's the Blue Bloods that are in that race. But Carolina right now is that favorite in the ACC, especially being undefeated in league play. And let's see how long that can continue. But I think UNC can win a national championship, and they proved it. They've won on the road, won 3 road games in a row, and now they're winning games at home. The Tar Heels are legit this year. Another Wisconsin, another team that's red hot. I moved them up to number 11. They started this week at 17. They finished the week at 11. They're right now first in the Big Ten, and they have a 2-game lead on everyone on the Big Ten, which is huge. They have a 2-game lead over Purdue and Illinois, who both lost 2 games in conference. Wisconsin is undefeated, which is really just a big advantage. 6 games in, they're 6-0. Wisconsin gets a nice home win over Northwestern. Max Kleesmith, 24. Again, this team last year was not a tournament team. They return most of their team. They bring in a guy like AJ Storr, and they've taken a big jump. Greg Gard's done an amazing job there in Madison. This is a very good team, and right now they have a big lead in the conference. And I do think Purdue's a better team, and I can't wait for when they play. But Wisconsin is legit. Again, I was a skeptical early. I'm in on Wisconsin. I'm in on the Badgers. They can win the Big Ten. They're just playing really good right now. They're not relying on one guy. They can shoot the three. They're a good defensive team, and it's any given guy on every given day. And those teams can be a little risky in March, but right now it's proven to work. And Wisconsin's rolling right now. They're 13-3 on the year. They have good wins. They beat Marquette. They are undefeated in the Big Ten. They, I guess they beat Virginia, which is not really a great win. Wisconsin is good. I got them 11th, just outside my top 10. Seton Hall's a team I'm considering being ranked. Look, they're red hot. They got a road win in the Big East, which is not easy, against Butler. Wow, Shaheen Holloway's done an amazing job. I'm pretty sure Seton Hall's tied for first in the Big East. They're playing really well. I believe they're 4-1 in conference play. Shout out to the Pirates there, getting the job done so far in the Big East, and they're making themselves a tournament resume that they didn't have in the non-con. Tennessee's escapes one in Athens, man. This was such a good game. I watched most of this game, and my one takeaway is Dalton Knecht is the real deal. This dude is a baller. He had 36 in this one, put the team on his back in a win. I thought Georgia was going to win this game. I felt like they had control of this game for most of that second half. A late rally from Tennessee gets the job done. I think Georgia can be a tournament team. That atmosphere was rocking. Abdul Rahim hit some big shots. Blue Kane made some big shots down the stretch. Silas Demery, shout out Raleigh product there, had a good game as well. But Tennessee, they're a good offense this year, man. They avoided losing 2 in a row, which is huge. I got Tennessee still ranked 5th. They have 4 losses on the year, but they've been playing really good. 1 loss in SEC play against a pretty good Mississippi State team on the road. Going 1-1 this week with 2 road games. You can't complain about if you're Tennessee, and then you get back at home and win your home games. Tennessee is probably the favorite in the SEC. Sorry. Okay. So that was like the 12 o'clock slate. Let's move on to that 2 o'clock slate. We had the one ranked unranked matchup of the weekend. That was the one. It was a top 10 matchup, some could say, according to the AB Bowl. It wasn't really a top 10 matchup because Oklahoma lost earlier this week. They lose again. Oklahoma goes 0-2 in the week there, but it's a road loss to Kansas. It was close in that first half. Kansas pulls away in the second half and gets a 12-point win. Hunter Dickinson, 24 and 14 was amazing. Kevin McCullough had some really good moments there. Furphy, did they start Furphy this game? I didn't. I watched a little bit of this game because on ESPN Plus I have Hulu. They did start Furphy in this one, even though him and Elmarko played a similar amount of minutes there. Furphy did have 7, so they did change up the starting lineup there. But yeah, it was really just a 3-man team, and that's what Kansas really is. It's a Dickinson, McCullough, KJ Adams, and sometimes DeJuan Harris led team. And is that a little concerning? Yeah, it's probably concerning that you're really relying on 3 players, but those 3 players are it's probably the top trio in college basketball. Kansas is really good. What do I got Kansas at 4? Yeah, I got Kansas at 4. And I dropped Oklahoma down to 20th. 0-2 week there for the Sooners. The Big 12, man, it's just a gauntlet night in, night out. They're going to get West Virginia, so that's a nice little get-back game. They go home against West Virginia, then at Cincinnati. 3 of their next 4 games at home. This is a time where you can prove to be a legit team, Oklahoma. You do not want to lose another one, especially at home against West Virginia, and then you're at Cincinnati. You can go 2-0 this week. You should be good, but that was a rough patch in the schedule. They got to go 2-0 this week, I think, to maintain a rank. A big upset. This technically wasn't an upset, but San Diego State got worked at the pit there. New Mexico wins by 18, 88-70. The Mountain West is just such an interesting league there because right now Utah State runs the conference. They're undefeated. They had the 15-game winning streak, longest in the country there. But then you have San Diego State, who's playing really good. Nevada only has 1 loss in conference play. New Mexico has 2 losses in conference play, but they're really good. Colorado State, of course, was one of the best teams in the non-con this year, and they have 2 losses in conference play. Boise State's been heating up. This conference has a very good top that can produce 5 to 6 tournament teams. And I think they will produce around 5 this year. What a game from New Mexico here. A dominant performance in a very good environment there. I can't rank New Mexico because they do have some weird losses this year, but Jalen House had 26 in this one. Jamal Mashburn, 19, and JT Toppin, 17 and 16. So just an all-around great performance from those top 3 players there. San Diego State struggled just shooting the ball, really. Jalen Ledee had 15, their leading scorer there. They had some good bench production, but not a great game from the Aztecs. They dropped their first one in conference play. I dropped San Diego State down to 22 in my rankings, and Utah State is my top team in the Mountain West right now at 17th. But I can consider ranking Boise State. I could consider ranking New Mexico. This conference is really tough to get a grasp on. Nevada, who has only, 2 losses on the whole season. I mean, it's just going to be interesting. We're early into the conference play, and we're going to see what teams, can take a legit lead in this conference, or is it going to be like it is right now, just a stack at the top there between the top 6 teams? But either way, Mountain West is one of the most fun conferences in college basketball. I made a video, I remember last year, saying who's best in the Mountain West. This year it's tougher to say. If I had to say best is Utah State. Right now they're the best team. And then I would still say San Diego. I still think San Diego State's the second best in this conference there. This was a tough game to play. And then third is probably Colorado State. And then I would say New Mexico, Boise State, and Nevada are that third tier. I think 2 of those teams will probably make it this year. My Kentucky Wildcats, because, I've been talking a lot of, I've been hyping up, let's just say, Kentucky. They lose a very tight one in OT. 92-97 against Texas A&M. Texas A&M finally gets a nice signature win there. They've been struggling after having really high expectations on the year. Wade Taylor was magnificent in this one, had 31. Antonio Reeves 22 wasn't enough. Kentucky, and this was maybe one of the best games. This is probably a top 5 game of the year so far. It was back and forth, offensive heavy game. DJ Wagner had such a good first half, really struggled in that second half there. Rob Dillingham came in there, hit some big time shots, but missed the game tire, or it was a game winner, game tire there. Reed Shepherd was good, hit those 2 clutch free throws at the end of the game to win. But man, it was Tyrese Radford, the guards there. Tyrese Radford, Wade Taylor, huge in this one, 31-28 respectfully. Texas A&M with a big win there. And that's just going to be, that could be a win that gets you into the tournament there. I know it's a home win, but a win that's probably going to be against a top 10, top 12 level team. Real big win there. The Aggies, I think they're going to be good, but they have some weird losses so far. They lost to LSU. They're 10-6 on the year. Kentucky's 12-3. I still think that Kentucky's good. I got Kentucky 6th in the nation. They were my 2. I dropped them down to 6. I'm still high on Kentucky here. Tough place to go in and play on the road in the SEC against a good team, and they held their own and got to OT. Interesting refereeing down the stretch there, but it ended up working out for Texas A&M. They get the win. Good one for the Aggies there. Not too worried about Kentucky. More just thinking about how Texas A&M looked like that team that was really highly projected in the preseason, as they get a win, and that could really boost their tournament chances. A team that also boosted their tournament chances was Wake Forest. Dominant win over Virginia. Virginia, 47 points. Classic Virginia there. Really, really good offensive performance from them. Hunter Silas, 21 points. Wake Forest, could they be that 4th team in the ACC to make it? 3rd team. The ACC is weird because you have the top 2, UNC, Duke, that are clearly the best 2. And then that 3rd team's Clemson, Wake, Miami. I don't know. I'm guessing 4 or 5 from this league will make it. It's a weak ACC. It's a down year. But Wake, get home wins. Good job. Hunter Silas really good in this one. Virginia, this is a bad Virginia team. What can I say? Providence, you're not a tournament team anymore without Bryce Hopkins. Purdue, dominant win. Good job to bounce back. Zaki had 30 points and 20 rebounds. Jeez. Clemson, good bounce back win there. PJ Hall, 26-11. I think Clemson's still the 3rd best in the ACC. Utah State continues the winning streak, barely, with a 1-point win on the road against UNLV. Not easy to win on the road in any conference, but the Mountain West, in these really good conferences, it's almost impossible there. Osborne, 24-14. Utah State, the hottest team in the country. South Carolina, nice road win over Missouri. 21 from Mac. They're 14-2. Could they contend the SEC? Maybe. JMU lost again to App State. App State might be the best team in the Sun Belt there. JMU gets off the bad first half. They only scored 55 in this one. TJ Bickerstaff struggled in that one. Florida, Arkansas's ass. I was completely wrong this year. That's my worst prediction ever that I can remember. Florida, 90 points scored. They're really good. I need to blow my nose, and we'll be right back with some more results. All right, I'm back. BYU got a nice road win over UCF. Nothing really special there, but good win for BYU after they have a 2-game losing streak. Texas Tech's red hot 1-point win over K-State. Not pretty, but they were down 11 at half and came back and won. Texas Tech, I got 19th in the nation there. I think Kansas State's good. They got an interesting game coming up, I believe, on Tuesday. Tomorrow then. Which I don't know if Kansas State's gonna be a tournament team this year, but they're a competitive team that I think could be floating around that bubble this year. Moving on, Duke got a win over Georgia Tech. Nothing special there from the Blue Devils, but again, Duke, I guess they got their lick back against Georgia Tech, but Duke's the clear best second team or first team in the ACC. They're on a nice little win streak here, but let's see them play against an elite ACC team, which they've yet to do. So they haven't played a team like they literally have not played a good ACC team. Of course, they haven't played Carolina yet. They haven't played Clemson. They haven't played Miami. They haven't played Wake. They haven't played. I mean, I don't even know if Virginia's a good ACC team, but they haven't played them. They haven't played NC State. They haven't played a top end ACC team. They've just been playing the bottom half, but they've won games. So I can't knock them for that. They've won the games they're supposed to. But one of the weirdest teams in the nation is Arizona. They lost a road game to Washington State here, and I was saying that Arizona should easily win the Pac-12. I still think they should win the Pac-12, but now they've lost 2 games in the conference, and Oregon's undefeated in the conference. So they're already 2 games back now of Oregon. They're losing games to Washington State and Stanford. Those are teams you should not be losing to. That's not the top end teams in the conference. Interesting. Good win for Washington State. They're 12-5. They're not a bad team. Caleb Love had 28 in this one. But Arizona's just weird. They were at one point #1 in the nation. Now I got them 15th. So Arizona's got to figure things out there. Oregon's a team I really want to rank. I really want to rank Oregon because I think they're really good. I'm just not there yet on the Ducks. But they're undefeated in Pac-12, and if they're going to be the best team in the Pac-12, they're obviously going to be ranked at some point in the season. But I got my eye on the Ducks right now. TCU. I'm high on TCU after watching this game. They end up going and beating Houston at home. Houston 0-2 on the week there. They're under 500 in Big 12 play. So are they 2-2 in Big? No, they're 1-2 in Big 12 play. They're struggling right now. This might be awakening for Houston going into a real conference like the Big 12. I dropped Houston down to 13th. I just can't tell how good they are. Jerron Roberts had 13 this one, but TCU with a big time play to Elijah Miller at the end of the game. Emmanuel Miller, not Elijah Miller. Emmanuel Miller at the end gets the. I guess that was a layup. It was a nice pass from Anderson there to Miller for the game winner, who struggled in this one, was 3 for 10, but didn't matter. Tennyson, 12, Anderson, 11, Jameer Nelson had 9 off the bench. This is a very similar team from the last 2 years, which they've been tournament teams. Jamie Dixon's done just an amazing job at TCU. I think I have TCU 16th in the nation. They are trending in the right direction. Almost upset Kansas on the road. They go 2-0 this week. They're 13-3, and they didn't have a great non-con, but they won games. They do have that. I think one of the losses is to Nevada. TCU is playing very, very good. I'm not too. Houston was undefeated in non-con, but now they're 1-2 in the Big 12. We'll see how they're going to fare against, this top end talent. And right now it has been amazing. Their 1 wins against West Virginia, who's the worst team in the Big 12. So I'm a little worried about what just happened. I'm a little worried about Houston, I will say, just because again, they've been the American they've been the American. They came from the American, which is not an elite conference. They had 1 or 2 good teams every year. Now they go into a real good conference, and they've struggled. I guess I miss Creighton win over St. John's. I love that Rick Pitino, that little soundbite saying he wants to kill himself after that loss. I think St. John's is still good. Good win for Creighton. I got Creighton ranked. Auburn, they're into my top 10. Auburn's looked like one of the most dominant teams in the country here. They're so deep. Baker Mazzara had 19 this one, but man, I mean, John A. Broome, Aiden Holloway. This team is just so deep. Jalen Williams. This team is ridiculously deep. They got the best depth in the country there. They're a team that can, any given night, any player can go off for 20. Auburn's really good. I think them, Tennessee, or Kentucky, one of those 3 will win the SEC. And watch out for Alabama. They're red hot right now. Bama, remember I was talking about that. They have been losing games. Now they're winning games. They got a nice win over Mississippi State on the road. I think one of those four will win this conference, and Auburn's right now the hottest team. They're trending in the right direction right now. Bruce Pearl's done an amazing job. Hey, I've been talking shit about West Virginia today, but they did beat Texas this weekend. Texas is a weird team. Didn't have Texas ranked, but now I definitely don't have them ranked. That's just a bad loss from the Longhorns. You gotta beat West Virginia. St. Mary's, I think, is clearly the best team. They destroyed Santa Clara after Santa Clara coming off a nice win against the Zags. St. Mary's got off to a really bad start, but now they're hot. Good bounce back win for Miami after somehow losing a game to Louisville this week. Baylor barely beat Cincinnati. Cincinnati had a good week, but went 0-2. That's just the nature of the Big 12. It's a brutal place to go, a brutal conference because you can play good and go 0-2 in a week. Cincinnati is a victim of the Big 12 this week. But good win for Baylor. I got Baylor inside my top 10 at number 9. The Bears playing really well. Good, another win for Iowa State. I already talked about Bama beating Mississippi State. And yeah, that's about it. USC's under 500, but who cares? And yeah, UCLA did win a game last night. So shout out to the Bruins there for finally winning a game. But you should not be credited for winning games anymore if you're a freaking blue blood program. Because here, I'm gonna go. Here are my blue bloods. Because I always get this conversation, who's a blue blood, who's a blue blood. There's 4 guaranteed blue bloods. It's Duke, UNC, Kentucky, and Kansas. Those are the for sure blue bloods. All of them are good year in and year out. Maybe they'll have one bad year every 20. Kansas doesn't have a bad year. But they're always good. They get the best recruits. They're always great. I would throw UConn in there. They have 5 national championships since 1999. They don't have the historical, like the old success, but they've been the best program since 2000. And then maybe UCLA. Indiana's not a blue blood. Louisville's not a blue blood because they're not good every year. They're good under one coach. They're good over a long time ago. They're not good anymore. Villanova was teetering, but right now we see what they are without Jay Wright. So yeah, I would say there's about 5 or 6 blue bloods you can consider UCLA, but they don't have the current success. They were good back in the day. So really, I think there's 5 UCLA, maybe 6, 5.5 blue bloods there. And all of them won blue, but I don't consider the color blue like that's really red. Indiana is not blue blood. How? They haven't won. Not in my lifetime. They haven't won a national championship. Neither with UCLA. You gotta win one in my lifetime. I'm 18 years old. Today you have a lot of daytime games because it's Martin Luther King Day. Shout out to the King there. But you got Ohio State at Michigan. Michigan's actually favored in that one. Ohio State's been trending in a bad direction after getting to a really good start in the year, which is in that game. And then Villanova at Marquette's going to be a good one there. Both teams are 11-5. Both teams struggling. Expect Marquette to drop really far down the rankings. I think they'll still be ranked, but I'm guessing near 20. I got them 21. I'm sure they'll be like 19 to 21 in the AP poll, I would say. But Villanova, they're a bipolar team. Let's see if they can get a road win. Marquette coming off a home loss for the first time in a while. That should be an interesting one. But then there's nothing really good tonight. And then tomorrow, there's some really good games. Florida at Tennessee is interesting. Tennessee should win, but they're back at home. Florida's not a bad team. Missouri at Bama. Bama should win again. Bama's playing really well. Purdue at Indiana, big rivalry game. Last year, both these games were on weekends, so usually you don't see this game on a weekday. But or maybe one of them was on a week. I don't remember. I guess some of them are on weekdays. I remember, what was that buzzer beater for Indiana to beat? Purdue, was that 2 years ago? Was that last year? I can't remember. Remember a buzzer beater happening recently against these two teams. The first matchup of the two. Purdue on the road, it's going to be a tricky place to play. Assembly Hall, obviously, this is a huge rivalry, one of the best in the sport there. Probably the second best in the sport. UNC Duke's the best. But this is going to be a huge game. Big implications in this one. Purdue will probably rank 2 in the new poll, I would assume. But maybe 3. But anyways, they're going on the road against their in-state rival. Should be amazing. TCU's on the road against Cincinnati. Could be a tricky place there. Prove me right, TCU, that you're really good. Wake's at NC State. Big matchup there. Who's the 3rd best team in North Carolina? Baylor's on the road against Kansas State. But this would be a huge resume boosting win for you. Dayton's playing St. Louis. Dayton should be ranked when the new poll comes out. I got Dayton ranked 14th. They're red hot. Colorado State, Air Force, Colorado State, let's bounce back, get a win. Iowa State at BYU. I expect Iowa State to be ranked. I do not know if BYU will be ranked at the time of this matchup. The AP poll should be coming out in a couple hours. That's going to be a really good game. BYU win home games. Win home games in the Big 12. You've got to do that. Iowa State, I think Iowa State's pretty good. That's going to be a really interesting matchup at 9. Kansas is on the road. Watch out. I don't think that they shouldn't lose this game, but watch out. Arkansas, I'm not sure how good that arena is going to be now. They're not good, but an interesting game. A&M, let's see if they can continue a win streak here. Start a little win streak going. Bo road game, Bo Walton, not easy. Georgia, South Carolina is a very interesting game just because both these teams trending in the right direction. Georgia, they did lose a game in Tennessee. They're still good. Both these teams are unexpected good teams in the SEC. And then Wisconsin at Penn State now. But then Utah State, New Mexico is going to be interesting. Utah State, this is going to be a real tough challenge. We saw what the Pitt did to San Diego State. That's a really good game. But that's all I got. What an episode of CBB Talk. Nice little weekend recap. I dropped my poll in the description, so go check out my top 25 for Newick if you want to see my rankings 1 through 25, the teams I considered. Yeah, I do that every day, but that's my official week 10 poll. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on Wednesday for another CBB Talk. Recap some of these Tuesday games because I'm sure there's going to be some interesting results. Peace.